Right, so in today's video I'm going to be covering all the do's and don'ts of lawn care during a heat wave, including mowing, feeding, mulching and watering. But before we do get into the video, if you're new to the channel, we've got loads of lawn care, such as how to establish a fairly decent lawn from scratch and also how to renovate your garden as well. So if you haven't already, consider subscribing, but less of that. Let's get straight into today's video. So let's start off then by talking about mowing. It goes without saying that leaving your grass just that little bit longer during a heat wave is always more favourable. But why? Well, most of the grass blade is made up of water, around about 75% of it. So the longer the grass leaf, the larger the store of water, meaning that the grass is going to be much more drought tolerant. If you get out and take too much off your grass blade, you're going to cause it to go through a little bit of stress, and then that's where your lawn is going to start to burn and go dormant much more quickly. If I was you, I wouldn't drop the height of cut, but maybe just consider taking it up a little bit higher. If you've been cutting at 15 mil, then maybe take it up to 20. If you've been cutting at 20, maybe just take that a little bit higher to mean it's more drought tolerant. If we were talking about a heat wave of just 3 days, then this isn't a massive deal. But if it's looking like the way it is at the moment, where it might be a week and a half, then raising that height is definitely worth considering. I made a massive mistake during one of the earlier heat waves this year where I actually scalped the grass unintentionally. In a way, the sun was that bright, I didn't realise how much I was scalping it, which sounds stupid now, but at the time I thought I was doing the right thing, and it took around about 2 weeks for the grass to fully recover. What ended up happening is the grass ended up burning in quite a few spaces, and I had to overfeed the lawn to almost force that recovery. But then because I was overfeeding it, I had to overwater it, and I'm talking water it like mad just to get the ball rolling. So I ended up with a problem that I could have just prevented by leaving the grass just that little bit longer. Now, the second thing to think about is feeding. Now, during the summer, we obviously have schedules as to when we're going to feed, whether it be every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks, every 6 weeks, and it might be coming to that time now where you need to put some more feed down onto your lawn. However, if it's going to be this week, what I would do is just hang fire, because feeding your lawn at the wrong time can do more harm than good. Whenever we feed our lawns, we're forcing more growth, and when the grass is already under stress, such as heat stress, then feeding can just lead to making things much worse. If you do really want to get on with the granular, it's going to mean that you're going to have to supplement that lawn with a lot more water, and the same sort of thing goes if you get on with the liquid too. Liquids are the one type of feed I certainly would avoid during a heat wave, especially if the feed contains iron, because although iron's there to enhance the pigments of the grass and make it a deeper, darker shade of green, what it's also there to do is to draw moisture away from the grass leaf. It's used often as a moss control or a disease control in a lawn to draw moisture away from the leaf. But if you've already got a lawn that's absolutely baked and you get on it with a moss control or just a feed that even contains some form of iron, it's going to really stress the grass out. You're going to get some discoloration, you're going to get some burn patches, and you're going to set yourself back a few weeks, because then you're going to have to overwater that lawn to support it in its recovery. So if you are desperate to feed, then just hang fire. Give it a week and a half, 2 weeks. Let's wait for the temperatures to drop, but more so for the rain to come back, because it's less about the temperature and more about the rain. If we have rain, then get on and feed. If we don't, then hang fire. Now, there is a way you can actually feed your lawn without getting on it with a product, and that's by mulching. I posted a video recently on my channel. I'll leave a link somewhere on the screen now and in the description below for you to check that out. And in that video, I taught all about the pros and cons of mulching. And one of the massive pros during a heat wave is the fact that when you cut your lawn without the bag on and you just let those clippings fall into the sward, what they're going to do is sit within that thatch layer, which is going to then trap a little bit more moisture in the soil, which is certainly what we want during weather conditions like this. But also, they're slowly going to break down and they're going to release the water they contain, the nutrients, the good bacteria into the soil, and all that's going to do is then feed your lawn a little bit. Don't be leaving like big, massive, monster whopper chunks knocking about, but just take off the tiniest amount of grass, and that's going to go a long way to supporting your lawn, to keep it healthy, to keep it green, to keep it dense during times like this. And think about what I said before about cutting your lawn. When you are cutting it, just don't take too much off. Nick the top part off, let it mulch, let it naturally decompose and do its thing, and your lawn will thank you for it. Now, on to our final point then, and that's watering your lawn. You don't want to be watering too often. Think about it more as watering deeply rather than watering daily. We don't need to get hyper specific. We don't need to be chucking down little cups of nothing and seeing how much water we're putting down. It's not about putting an inch or 2 inches or 2.5 centimeters, anything like that. Just get your sprinkler, put it on, leave it on for 20 to 30 minutes, and that's going to be a sufficient amount of water to support your lawn. We don't know exactly how much moisture we've got knocking about in our lawns already, so we don't necessarily need to know the exact quantity we're chucking down, but just enough to water that soil thoroughly, because we're not watering the plants, we're watering the soil, and that's what we've got to remember. It's not just about getting the grass wet. If you come out every day and water your lawn lightly, you're not watering the soil, you're watering the leaves, and if those leaves hold on to too much moisture during hot spells like we've got now, then what it can lead to is disease, or disease that you currently have spreading further around your lawn. It almost becomes the perfect climate for that fungus. Whereas if you give it 1 or 2 deep waters during the week, then during those days where you're not watering, the grass blades can dry out, but the soil below is still going to stay moist. If you water too lightly, you're not really going to be watering the soil, because it's the soil that we want to maintain moisture levels in, so that when we do have warmer days, those roots of the plants can go searching for it, giving you a stronger plant, a stronger root system, and overall a better soil as a result. So that's pretty much it, but really the name of the game with this is let's do a little bit less. Let's take our foot off the gas a little bit, because often it's the actions we take by doing a little bit too much to our lawns that often results in them looking a little bit worse for wear. So get out, cut it a little bit, don't do too much, let the grass do its thing on its own, and when we get to the back end of this heat wave, your grass will still be in a fairly decent condition. So thanks for watching today's video. If you found it useful at all, then feel free to give it a like, and if you haven't already, like I said at the start of this video, consider subscribing to the channel. We've got loads of lawn tip videos coming out, especially in the autumn, to prepare our lawns ready for winter, so that we can get to next spring with a really boss space. So subscribe if you haven't already. The Instagram is Novice Gardener YT. The link to that is in the description below. The TikTok is Novice Gardener Official. And finally, thanks for watching.